Good morning, welcome to Planet Mojo. Today I'm going to fill you in on the fall punch list for 2025. We'll start the punch list right here. This is where I'm going to start my work tomorrow. Very first thing I'm going to do is get this place cleaned up and sort this according to the work that needs to be done out here. The vast majority of this wood right here is going to be going into Cindy's craft room, which is going to be right here. So I need to sort the lumber and kind of get everything so that I can start work on this. And included in that work is going to be openings for the mini split, the electricals, a whole bunch of stuff. So we're not going to get into that right now. But again, that work starts tomorrow. I'm not sure if I showed this yet, but we got this wall finished and we got some gravel spread here and here. And I made a little road in the back there. Let's go look at that and I'll let you know what's on the punch list for the tiny house. Yeah, I gotta sweep the top of this wall off. Oh, geez. Looks like I didn't even notice this before, but this window well got hit by our contractor. Damn it. But anyways, this all got backfilled with, it appears to be the wrong size gravel. This is like a size up from the normal gravel. Well, let's show it over here. Yeah, this definitely needs to be swept up. That gravel right there is like 1.5 inches, something like that. And this stuff is like 3/4 inch and smaller. This is about half the size of the gravel that was just put in, but I guess it is what it is. Okay, the tiny house. So as far as the tiny house goes, this addition work is done for the year. There's no way that we can get this dried in before the snow flies, and I have to get the majority of things that I want done. I have to get it done by the beginning of December because I'm having surgery, and there's no way I can get this all done before then. And I'll be working out in some nasty weather real soon. So the best place to stop is right where we're at. The piers are all done. I just soaked this area. It didn't rain or anything. I'm trying to get everything settled in. And you can see that around the tubes, this is all gravel filled. So it needs a bit of settling. So what I'm going to do is just rake this area level. I'll probably do it a couple times because it's going to settle, like I said, around the tubes. And I'm going to get rid of these blobs of concrete and, well, just keep sprinkling it and letting it settle. And I'm going to turn my attention to the kitchen there. Natalie did the majority of the drywall. There's a good amount of mistakes and stuff in the drywall, and she was going to do the mudding of it, but I don't think she's going to be able to. So I'm going to fix her mistakes with the mudding, the drywall mistakes. I'm going to fix it with the mudding, and there's a little bit of drywall that needs to be done in the skylights, and we'll get all of that mudded as well. And then when I start doing projects over in the wood shop, one of the first projects is going to be her kitchen sink. Her kitchen sink is a major project because the water comes into the house in there, and there's a water heater, there's filters, there's the water going out. There's a double hot and cold faucet right there. That has to be plumbed up. That goes right into the cabinet right there. So that is a major project, that one cabinet. But that cabinet is connected to the other cabinets going that way. So I'll just make them all as one unit, or it'll be more than one unit, but I'll make them all at the same time. So she'll be able to get her kitchen up and running before next year when we get this place finished. I'm also going to take a laser level and set it up out here somewhere and get the exact heights of all of these piers so I can figure out my brackets for next year and get those ready to go as soon as the winter weather breaks next spring. And lastly over here, I'm going to be moving this concrete and all of this stuff right here. This is the floor and the outside skin for the addition. I'm going to move that into the shed. In room 13 here, Natalie's going to be using that for her craft room. And I need to get a little bit of wiring in the wall and a tube going through the wall for her mini split. And I need to get the door installed. All of this is insulation she pulled out of the wall. What we did, or what she did, is put some hardware cloth all along the edge here and all along the edge there, because a big snake was getting into the back of the wall. And when I first found it, it had shed its skin as it was coming out of the wall. This is one of them. Or actually, this is 3 skins right here. The snake is a bit over 6 feet, maybe longer than that, but the skins are about 6 feet long. So, oh, and there's mice getting in there as well. So that'll stop that. I'd show it to you, but we're going to get this all nice and cleaned up. We got these big boards here for the tiny house for next year, and they're kind of right in the middle of the room here. I think they're going to stay here, but we're going to pack all of the other stuff for the tiny house back there. So this place needs a good clean, and once I get that wiring done, she's going to put all this stuff, vacuum it off, and get all this stuff back in the wall and put the vapor barrier back on, and she's going to be drywalling in there. So that will get out of here as well. Yeah, a lot of work out here. So all of this stuff right here is going to be rearranged. That'll be going back there, like I said. And that OSB that's up by the tiny house is going to go right here, and insulation on top of it. We have the insulation ordered. That stuff takes forever to get here, but it'll be in plenty of time now that we shut down this project until spring. I'd like to get this area right here straightened out a little bit, move this tractor a little bit further that way, and then get the farm wall, which is back there. I'd like to roll that up and get that over here as well. I couldn't do it before because when our contractor was doing the work last year, he had rolled down some big old boulders and they were sitting right here. So I couldn't move the tractor without moving those boulders. Now it's just a little bit of a mess that's in the way, and I'm going to get somebody to help me, and we'll roll that tractor up and get both of the tractors right here. It'll just look a little bit neater back there, and I can get the tractor a bit more buttoned up than it is back there. Out here in the old run-in, we're pulling all this stuff out of here. We have places where the vast majority of this stuff goes, and we're going to be hanging a lot of the tools and stuff from these girts in here and just arranging things better. So we're going to have half of this right down the center here, out to the front edge. We're going to be putting 2 walls in here and making half of this into a chicken coop. We have 13 full-size chickens and 2 turkeys, and they have to be housed for the winter. This is definitely not going to do it. So we're going to be incorporating this somehow. I'll have to ask Natalie on that. And then we're going to be taking that little duck thing that was like a shelter for the ducks. We're going to be moving that over on the side over here. Bunch of little stuff. And then we have to either run a wire underground and up to the shed and then come up and plug it in, or run an extension cord over here, because we're going to need a light in this chicken coop, as well as a heater for the chickens themselves and a heater for their water, so their water doesn't freeze up. We have a door that somebody gave us years ago. We're going to be putting that on the inside, as well as an automatic door, a larger automatic door. This right here has an automatic door on it, but it's not big enough for the turkeys and stuff. So door, automatic door, and then we have a window that was a takeout from the main house. We're going to be putting that in right here. So I'm not going to be doing most of the work on this, allegedly, but I have to come up with the design, and Natalie's going to be working on it with her boyfriend. It's a lot of work. It involves putting hardware cloth down so something can't tunnel in and get into the coop. And then on the inside, there's shelves and perches and nesting boxes and stuff like that. And then there's a shelf going around the edge and blah, blah, blah. Again, I'll show you the plans once I have the plans drawn up. But for the most part, it's just going to be a beam coming down here, and then a light wall here and a light wall there, and we're going to skin it with something. This outside wall would look best if it were done in black, but I don't know. We'll see on that. We got a couple leaks in the house. One in the washer, and the shower head leaks a bit. Got to get those fixed. And I got to get this filled. Part of this is going to be filled from the wood in our woods. I'm going to pull that up, cut it, split it, stack it, but everything else is going to be filled from wood that I'm going to pick up from the Amish, and it's probably going to be 3 or 4 loads from them, maybe even 5 loads. We'll see how that goes. We'll see how long it takes to load up. If I can do 2 loads in a day, we'll probably get at least 4 loads, but time will tell on that. And once we're done with all the splitting, the cover for this is messed up. It's got holes in it and stuff already, so I'm going to tape that up with T-Rex, waterproof T-Rex, and we'll see how that holds up for the winter. Then we have the Gator. The battery on this, let's see if I can show you. The battery's right here. Looking kind of grody in here. I've cleaned this out a couple times, but it really gets dirty. But anyways, this battery is 10 years, or no, it's 11 years old now, and it just barely starts this thing. I ordered a new battery. The acid comes separate, so you don't have to charge the battery until you need to. So I'm going to let the battery sit until this one dies, which may be any time now. And then we're going to replace the battery on this. Just add the acid and some water and you're off to the races. And I have new plastic for this. It's actually a piece that's going to go way out to the edge here, like that, and I'm going to bolt it on with some stainless steel bolts, and that'll clear up the vast majority of the problems with this. This thing is just so bad, it's unreal. Look at that. It's getting to a point where when I'm pulling in right here, I had to stick my whole head out to see where this stuff was. At some point soon I'm going to hit something if I don't get that windshield replaced. Hopefully the replacement lasts the life of this thing, because these things were, I think this was $700-800, and that was 11 years ago. Which leaves us with Trapdoor Woodworks. I got a bunch of little stuff and a few big things that I want to get done in here. Very first thing is getting this door beefed up. This is getting the foam cut out here and a bunch of soft maple glued and screwed into here, so I have a place to put hinges for the hidden door that's going to go here. That is really complicated, and that's going to be on the other channel. But once that's done, then I can get the skin on the wall, and I need to have the skin on the other side of the wall, which is going to go with doing the room over there. Once both of those are on, then I can finish this. But for now, I need to get this beefed up, and then I'm hoping to get the core of the door in place for the winter, and I'll just use that as my door until I can get to the final door on that. I hope that makes sense. It's kind of complicated. I have the switch for this right here, so we're going to be getting this up and going. And like I said, we're going to be finishing that wall and run the ductwork up and over and down for the stuff that's going to be on this wall. And we're going to run the ductwork down and over to the table saw. So we'll have most of the ductwork done, and we're going to continue the air line around and stop it over there, but it's going to come down, go through the wall, and be connected to this, which is going to be mounted on the wall of the room that we're going to be building out there. See, everything all comes together, but it all hinges on getting this wall done on both sides, and that hinges on getting that door done. Also, once this wall is done, well, I got to put a door in over there as well, and this is going to be a cleat wall on part of the wall, and it's going to have all the air set up and stuff over here. It's going to have a regulator and an oiler over here. We're going to have the downdraft sander over here and an assembly area over here. So we're going to have clamps and all that stuff on this wall. A whole lot is going on with this wall, and I really need to get this done soon. And before I forget, the electric stops right there. That is going to continue onto that wall and go down to 3 switches, just like these here. It'll look exactly like this, except the second box will only have 1 switch in it, which will be for the garage light out there. The other 3 will be for the 3 banks of light in the shop itself. So that's all wired up, and it goes to fuses and everything. That needs to go to the other switches and then up to 3 outlets which will connect to these lights. These are hooked up temporary right now, and that will be the permanent setup for the lights. I don't know if you remember this or not, but I ran this conduit through the wall over here. That'll all get foamed up. We'll get the wall covering up on this side and the other side, and there'll be a little breaker box out there with 4 breakers. That's just for the little garage area here. And then we're going to be wiring through the wall over there as well for the crafting room and the mini split that's out there and all that stuff. A fair amount of wiring, but nowhere near the wiring that was in here. Having this wall with the skin on it and having that door, well, most of the way done, is going to be huge for the shop here. The majority of this will be gone, and I'm going to move the rest over into that area. The tools that are currently over there, most of them are going to move onto this wall and be plugged in and available for use. And I'll start to be able to get my clamps and other stuff onto this wall, and it'll make working out here dramatically easier. And a lot of this stuff is going to come off of these tables and go into drawers and shelves and whatnot. So it's going to be a lot clearer out here soon. And finally, once this skin, which is this right here, once this wall is skinned, I'll be able to put these shelf brackets on there permanently. They're going to go over this way, and we're going to have these up against the wall. So it'll be a little cleaner out here with all this wood gone and this stuff here. Hopefully it doesn't get real messed up again right away, but I'm hoping for a semi-clean garage out here. Yeah, that air line is going to poke through right up here somewhere, and it's going to go across the wall over to here and then down, and then that hose reel is going to be right here, and that will turn so that you can use it out here. It's going to turn, it's going to pop off the wall and turn so that you can pull it out and fill the tires on cars and stuff. Or it'll come in and lock in that position, and it'll make it easier to use out here. Yeah, lots of work coming up, and I'm going to try to get the majority of it done before my surgery in December. Did I mention that? Yeah, I have surgery coming up in December. A little bit of heart surgery to fix a problem that I've had since I was born, a little congenital heart thing. They're going to do orthoscopic surgery and fix that. So I want to have light duty stuff for a month or two after that. So the lighter stuff I'm going to schedule for then, and this heavier stuff I want to get done now. So tomorrow I begin on the walls for the crafting room. So if you want to see that video, make sure you subscribe and click on the update icon. If you have any questions or comments, make sure you put them in the comment section below. And if you share the video and or give it a like, it helps the channel out greatly. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.